If you weren't able to watch the video beforehand, that's okay. I'm still going to show you how to find area of a circle. This is the formula that will be on your formula sheet. What this means is to find the area, you're going to multiply pi times the radius squared. And the reason that you're doing the radius squared is because if I take the radius and actually make a square out of it, it would take about 3 of these radius squares to cover the entire circle. Notice that if I did a radius square this way, I did a radius square this way, and a radius square this way, 4 radius squares would be too many, which is why we use pi, because pi is a little bit more than 3. So I'm going to use the radius square to help me figure out the area of my circle. So the radius in this case is 7. The diameter is 14. I'm not going to need the diameter for this one. I want to square the radius. The radius squared means 7 times 7, which is 49. So to figure out the area, I'm going to do pi times the radius squared, which is 49. Take my calculator. 3 1400ths times 49 gives me an answer of 153 86/100ths. This radius square right here is 49, and it takes about 3 of those radius squares to cover the whole circle, which is why I do 49 times a little bit more than 3, which gives me my area. If you're given a diameter, you have to figure out what the radius is. In this case, we know the diameter is 5, but to do area, which is pi times the radius square, I need to know what the radius is. If this whole length is 5, which means from here to here is 5, just like from here to here is 5, the radius would be half of 5. So if I take 5 and divide it by 2, I get 2.5. That means it would be 2.5 this way and 2.5 this way, which makes that radius square. So 2.5 squared is equal to 6 25/100ths. To get area now, I'm going to take pi times the radius square, which is right here, and that's how I can figure out my area. So 3 1400ths times 6 25/100ths gives me 19 625 thousandths. So anytime you're finding area, you need to multiply pi times whatever the radius squared is. If it gives you a diameter, you have to figure out what the radius is. And then once you get the radius, which we did, then you're going to square it. And then take that radius square and multiply it by pi. And that's how you find area.